In last session, we discussed about column charts and different types of charts, and you can see the colorful screen here, like green, yellow combination, and this is 3D chart and so on. Now, in this session, we are going to spend little bit of time on charts again, and then we will see what is gauge and these newly added map, data bars, spark line, and indicator. So this will be very interesting, this session, hopefully. Let's see. Let's start with the charts. So this is where we stop. Now, this is 3D chart. How I can remove the 3D? It's as simple as this. Right click, 3D effects, and disable the 3D, and this guy will become column chart by. This is as simple as this, converting from 3D to normal charts and normal charts to 3D charts. So there are a lot of properties. If you see, I'm clicking on this chart type. Better I'll click here. I'm searching for that. Change chart type. Yeah, here you can see the option change chart type. This change chart type is used to change from one chart type to another chart type. If you see, for example, if I click here, it will take you back to the first screen. When you drag and drop the chart, you got the screen, right? So it will take you to back to the particular screen. Now the current selection is this one. If I select this, the chart type will be changed automatically like this. And if you see the 3D effects, again it is on. You can disable it, click on fine. Now you can see the chart type is changed. And in the same way, you can go for chart type, any chart type here. For example, let me go for line chart. If I select this has become line chart. Okay, you can see the line charts and so on. Now this is why I'm explaining, why I'm saying that this particular thing, like converting from one chart type to another chart type. The reason behind this one is, if I explain you about the properties of a column chart, the properties will remain the same for the other chart types. That is why it is as simple as this, converting from one chart type to another chart type. If you go to chart area properties, it will remain the same. Okay, you can see the 3D option and everything here on the first page which we discussed, and visibility, everything we discussed. And if you see the series, this is the series. In earlier case, it was a column. When I right click on the column, that was the series. Here this is line chart, so this is the series, and you can see series properties, just like the last case. And if you right click on the same, you can see show data labels option, the one which you have seen for column chart also. So what I'm trying to say here is that properties will remain the same, almost all, not all the properties, but the properties will remain, the maximum properties will remain the same. And now let's see the new feature which we did not discuss in last session. For example, what is this series? This series is tax amount. You can see the tax amount is green line, and I selected the green line here. If I right click on this, you can see a new tab that is add calculated series. So if you can add a calculated one, all formulas are given. For example, mean, calculating median, calculating Bollinger Bands, moving average, and so on, standard deviation. You can calculate any formula. These formulas generally people don't prefer, but in my career, I worked on some, I can say some 6 to 7 SSRS projects. But in one case, people asked me to design the median and standard deviation. So it was a big formula we have to write on our own when in 2005 and 2008 versions of SQL Server. But here in 2008 R2, by default, if you select this, it will take care of. For example, I selected mean and visibility, everything, the remaining properties are same which we discussed. The formula is selected here, what formula you want to apply. And visibility, you can show or hide axis and chart areas, and this is remain same. Markers, which we discussed already in last session, and lesson also we discussed about it. So if I click on OK, you can see a new series is coming here, that is in violet color, mean of tax amount. Now I'm taking tax amount again, add calculated series. I'm taking standard deviation. So a standard deviation extra line is created. Here you can see some yellow color option, right? So this is how you can create formulas. You can create a calculated series here. This is as simple as this. So if I preview the report now, see I created the mean, a calculated series, standard deviation, and if I want to create a median, I can create it on the fly. So if or not on the fly, it's a simple thing. It's like a matter of seconds. I can say adding a mean and median, which was a big concept in like earlier versions of SQL Server. I can say in 2005. So now what I have done, I converted the chart type from column to line chart, and in that I added two series, that is mean and median. Now what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna change the chart type back to column. You can see the mean and mean standard deviation. Here this is the series for standard deviation. You can go for this. Visibility, area, let me check all the properties, everything fine. So now if I preview it, I can see the same data with the calculated series, everything in column chart. So converting from one chart to another chart type is very easy, and converting from two-dimensional to three-dimensional as well as adding calculated series also very easy. This is how you can add the calculated series. Now we are good. This is about charts. You can convert from one chart to any chart type of your wish. For example, let's say this one. You can convert it. So if you see the properties again, this guy, this is chart area properties. If I click on the line, that is series properties again, which remains the same. There will be no change. And the same way, you can right click on the series, you can add calculated series just like you have done for line chart. And now let's convert into different chart type. Let's say 3D tunnel. You can see for every color 1, color 2, if I preview it, you can see the sales, it's in a 3D tunnel, and it will give you color wise. Oops, some issue, let me check that. Let me remove this series, there are so many. Oops, Microsoft Visual Studio has encountered a problem, the most common one which we see in Microsoft. Okay, good to see this after long gap. In recent past I have not seen this issue, but now I am getting it again. This is the most common issue that you will face in, see, if you get a chance to work on SSRS 2005, you will face this problem very frequently. Like whenever you modify the wizard data or something, some report, then it will automatically shut down and restart. This was fixed in 2008. It was like the biggest boon that Microsoft can give to any SSRS developer. For every report change, it was deleting and coming. I mean, it was shutting down and restarting the application. Now let me preview it. I reopen the same, and it's saying some extra columns are there. Let me modify it. I have so many here. Delete the series. I can take only one, that is sales amount. Now let me see here the pyramid chart. Now you can see this is the black color one. It has top sales, and this is the multicolor, not applicable color, red color, and silver color. This is how you can see. And for this, normally, for this kind of charts, you will take only one series and one category. And similarly for I can say pie charts. You can convert it into pie chart, and for pie charts also you will take only one series and one category in general, and it depends on your requirement. But most frequent requirement is one channel, one series, and one category, as you can see here. Now I'm clicking on 3D effects. It really looks good. 3D effects. Inclination, I will change it to some 45 or 50, and rotation will not make much difference. Let's see how it looks. So You have seen now converting from one chart type to any other chart type that is available in SSRS. It's a matter of seconds. And if you see .NET, for .NET, Microsoft has provided a DLL, Microsoft Charting.dll, which is very similar to SSRS DLL. If you refer to the DLL in .NET, and you can create all these kinds of reports in fraction of seconds or in few minutes. You don't need even hour to work on all kinds of reports using the charting tool DLL. In the same way, SSRS, the chart tool is a fantastic option provided in which you can convert from, you can design any kind of chart in very less time. Now, let me decrease the size and let me go to the toolbox. Well, let's spend some time on gauges. We have discussed a lot about charts, and the rest of the things you have to practice. If I explain the remaining things like taking each and every chart type and explaining the stuff like each and every property, I know that the same properties will be available across different chart types, but if you expect me to explain everything, then I'll become super master of the technology, but you will become nothing. So it's your turn to practice the stuff, and if you have any question, reach me either in my site msbiguide.com or through mail. Now I'm taking gauge here. You know very well about these gauges. There are two types, radial and linear gauges. What gauges will do? Generally, gauges will take a value and it will show the report, I can say. For example, I'm taking this, and now I have to set some value for this gauge properties. Here you can see the values. I'm deleting this pointer. Sorry. I have to specify the value. The value that I'm setting for this gauge is the sales amount. If I execute this now, it will get the sales amount and it will show the value in the gauge. Where this is useful? Generally in reports, it's very useful in reports. I mean, where they measure in what is the pressure in a particular motor, or what is the temperature of a particular fan, ceiling, and so on. In factories, people use this kind of gauges to measure the temperature and pressure of different equipments that are being used in the factories. So now it is showing 100, but you know the sales amount is a huge amount. Why it is showing 100? Why? Because the gauge scale, you can see when I click on the scale, this is called a scale. The scale is limited. It is given from 0 to 100. You can see the scale properties. Wherever you click, you will find something. Now if I click here, this is scale. If I click here, this is coloring index. I can say it as, second, let me go to the properties. Radial range, and this is pointer. So wherever you click, you will find some item to which you can set the properties. If I click here, this is complete gauge, and if I click here, this is scale. Now let me set the properties for the scale. Now the scale is having some limited values, 0 to 100. You can see the minimum value is 0, the maximum value is 100. The interval is auto. You can set this, and here the maximum value you can set. You don't know what is the maximum value, and if you take the field, it may not give you the maximum value. So here the data sets will come into picture where it will give you the maximum value. I told you, if you go through the data sets, it will give you the total sum of the sales, and if you take any value of a non-aggregatable field like English product name, color, or class, it will give you either first or last, depends on the query you are giving. So it starts with 0, and the maximum value should be the maximum value of the sales amount. Sorry. Now let me click on OK and see the preview of the report. You can see the maximum value is increased and it is showing, and it is automatically the intervals it is taken is auto. I set to auto, so automatically it adjusts and it takes some value, and this is the maximum, the total number of sales amount that is available for this particular data set, and it is showing the same. And if you see, for everything you can set the properties. For example, this is pointer. Let's see what are all the pointers that you can. If this is show pointer cap, if I remove this, you can see the cap is missing. And show pointer cap, you can see the round, this is called as cap. You can show or hide that, depends on your requirement. And let's see what are all the other options that you can set for the pointer here. So pointer value, this is sum of something, that is sales amount. And pointer type, let me change it here. You have needle, you have marker, marker is this one, and you have one more option, that is bar. It will be like bar, from where to where it is covered, right? From here to here, the value like that it will be shown. So the best option is for us it is needle. And now the next option is needle type. You can go for triangle needle. You can see this is triangle in shape. This is rectangle. This is tapered with tail and tapered, and arrow with tail, and so on. You have so many types of needles you can go for. It depends on your requirement, which suits better for your requirement. Let me go for a triangle here. And for every property, if you observe, you have an option FX, that is expressions option. That means you can set the values dynamically. And placement, where you want to place this, inside or outside. If you set it outside, it will go to outside, and if you set some distance, then only you can understand. See, this is how it goes. And if you go for cross, it will be like this. And if you set it inside, it will be inside the complete gauge. If you set it outside, it will go to the outside part of this. And width, if you want to increase the width or decrease the width, you can use this option. And here also you have an expression of an option to provide an expression which will provide the value dynamically to this particular property. So this is why I spent one complete session on expressions. Expressions plays a major role. And now I told you about the constants in expressions. Constants will take the values that are suitable for this particular parameter. Now if I click on the placement, the constant should be the same which I can pass for the parameter, this property. You can see here, constants inside, outside, and cross are nothing but the same what you can find here. Let me set it to inside now, which looks good. And action, you can set some action which we are discussed in couple of sessions, not in one session. We discussed in most of the sessions about this action. So if I click on this needle, it can I can provide functionality in such a way that it can take me to a particular web page or particular report or particular bookmark. And pointer fill, if you want to fill this pointer, right now it is white to orange gradient. You can observe that. You cannot see it clearly. If I take some rectangle, then you can see it clearly. See, this is orange to white gradient, right? If I go here and if I change it to some other color, now you can see green to white gradient, right? This is how you can design. You can change the look and feel of your pointer. And pointer border, if you want to have any line, let's say I want to have dotted line, you can see it now. And width, I'll give 3. So this is how you can give the border of that. And cap options, I set the property to hide, and now if I unhide it, then you can see the cap. And for this cap, show reflection, it has its own properties. Draw cap on top of pointer, that means you can see it is going behind. Okay. And cap style, you can go for round and wide or just rounded, or you can go for something else. Let me show it on top. Now you can find the differences. Round light, rounded. So like this. Cap width, you can set the cap width as per your design requirement. So now if you see each and every property, it's a straightforward one. If you're good in English, you can easily understand what it is going to do. So I don't think that you need a special session or session to explain everything, all the properties that are present for these gauges. And what is this cap color? What color you want to give for the cap? You can set whatever the color you wish to. And shadow, if you want to set shadow, this is bullshit option, but still Microsoft has provided everything so that people will not come back to say that this is not available. So now if you observe here, these are the different properties you can set, and this is range properties. This is also similar, for which you want to provide the range, this value, where you want to place, inside or outside. If you set it outside, it will go outside like this. And if you set it to cross, it will be crossed in between these two. Distance from the scale, it will be, if you increase, it will go inside. If you decrease, it will go outside. Distance from the scale, this is. And start range scale value, let's say 100, and end range scale value, let's say this guy. It will be started and ended at that particular value. And size options, you can increase the size or decrease the size. Let me set it to 0 so that we can see the remaining properties at least. Let me delete it. And here you can see the width percentage, how much you want to give. If you want to give more width, you can provide that. And in the same way, that is the starting width. This is the ending width. Now you can see the ending width is increasing to 100%, and now I'm decreasing. Now this is again the action part. On clicking of this, you can navigate to some other web report or web bookmark or some web page. This fill option is again the same which we discussed a couple of minutes back for the pointer. If I give it to green and white, it will be the same combination. And border, I think I don't need to explain about this stuff, and shadow too. So these are all the properties of this card. And meter, the scale, we already discussed what is the minimum value and what is the maximum value you can set. You can define either hard-coded value or something. This is reverse scale. The scale will be in reverse order. You can see from 0 to 100 or something like that, 0 to maximum value. And interval auto, it will be either auto or you can provide some value, like for every 1000 you can provide the interval. And multiply scales by, let's say, 100. So generally if it is 1000, then it will be 1000 into 100, something like that. Okay. Now it was 0, 10, 20, right? Now I have given 100. It is like this. I have given 1000. It will multiply the value by whatever the scale value is there. It will be multiplied with this value. If you want to go for logarithmic scale, which is very, very difficult to understand, you can go for logarithmic scale. That is based to either 10 or 2. It's your wish, you can provide logarithmic scale. And action, if you click on this, you can go for some action. And layout, just go through all these properties which I've never worked on. I mean, I've never applied or tried all this stuff. Why? Because this is not mandatory, or this is not most frequently used ones. If you want to go through that, let me go to the scale radius. If I set it to 35, you can see the radius is increasing and now decreasing. And start angle, at what angle it should be, where it has to start from. You can see it is rotating to the left. And sweep angle, you can see what is the gap that needs to be given between two. Now it is swept everything. Now it is going to minus. Overlapping is going on. Okay. So this is the sweep angle. And scale bar width. This is the width. Whatever the scale bars are there, right? That width, it depends on the size that you provide here. And labels, the values that you are seeing here, 50, 40, 30, and so on. If you don't want to show this, you can hide it. Or if you show this, show labels at the end of the scale. The first one and the last one is getting hidden. You can observe that 0 and 100, right? And rotate labels with scale like this. That means you can see the view, how it is adjusting itself. And placement, where you want to place it, either inside or outside or cross. Now it is outside and this is cross. So better always go for inside, which looks, the look and feel will be good. And how far it should be from scale. It depends on your requirement. If you increase it, it will go away from the scale. If you decrease it, it comes near to the scale. And label interval, automatically it will select, and label interval offset, it's just like selecting the scale interval. Now, label font. Don't expect me to explain all this stuff. And numbers, if it is a number, how it should be. If it is negative numbers, how you want to show this. And if it is currency, you can see the dollar symbol is coming here. And if it is percentage, you can see the percentage symbol is coming. And if I don't want any decimals, now we can see, sorry guys, 1000 percentage, 2000 percentage, 3000 and so on. If you want to include a space between these two, that is the value and the percentage, you can click on this. You can see the space is getting injected between the value and the percentage symbol. Major tick marks. If you want to set any major tick marks, you can set it, or else you can see the major tick marks is the lengthiest one. On the blue line, you can see some short lines and lengthier one. The lengthier one is the major tick marks. If you don't want, you can set this as hide, or you can make it visible by unchecking this. Mark placement, if it is inside, it will be inside, or else if you can see that lines are coming inside now. This is outside. You can see those lines are moving outside. Now you can see if I increase the width, you can easily identify what is the major tick marks. I'm increasing the width of these major tick marks. And length, if you want to increase the length, you can increase the length of the major tick marks, and interval which remains the same like we discussed for scale range. Let me decrease this stuff, and let me decrease this stuff too. And minor tick marks is the other set. You can see the between these two lengthier lines there are 1, 2, 3, 4 short lines. If you want to hide that, you can check this, or if you don't want, if you want to show that, you can uncheck this. And the remaining properties are same here too. So if you observe here, we have discussed about each and every property that is available in these particular gauges. But this gauge will not make any sense if I have one gauge and passing all the big value. That doesn't make any sense to me, right? So now let me play with the gauges. So the best thing what we can do is take a list control. You can see I dragged a list control here. To demonstrate the gauges, this is the best control I feel. So I've taken this. Let me go to the top, and these properties I'll set to 0, 0 so that it will be exactly fit. Now into this, I'm taking one text box, another one I copied and pasted, another one I copied and pasted. So I have taken 3 text boxes, 1, 2, 3, and now I will align everything to the left side. So left align, and I don't want this guy. Now let me set the size to properly. Now all the 3 text boxes are aligned. So I'm setting the equal width. In the first one, in the expression page, I'm taking, one second guys, I'm taking let's say English product name. In the second one, I'm taking what is the color it belongs to. On the third one, I'm taking sales amount. Let me copy and paste this again so that I can have tax amount also here. So I've taken tax amount. If you see, it will show you all the 4 values of every product again and again and again. So for all the products that are present, you can see these two, product name, color, sales amount and tax amount. As these two are integer fields, it is taking right align. So let me take left align and see the preview now. Now good. This is the first product and this is the second one, third one and so on. You will have some thousands of combinations here. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is I'm increasing the width of it, and let me increase the width of this control to list control so that it will fit here, and let me decrease the width of height of this one, the list control as well as the chart area. Now here I'm taking the gauge. I've taken this gauge. Let me take this one which looks good, and I'm aligning this one so to this alignment. Okay. Now if I set this gauge properties, under this gauge properties, if you see, if I set this value as sales amount, for every sales amount, for every product combination you are seeing here, you will get one gauge, and the value will be taken into the shown in the gauge. You can see here this sales amount will be shown in the first gauge. If you see, it is taking 100, again the same problem which we faced, the scale problem. Let me change the scale. Scale properties, the maximum value was the problem. So I will set it to 4,000. I think it will not cross 4,000. Now you can see it looks good, better than earlier case. It will show the value per product and color combination. You can see this is somewhere here, which means it is having some value near to this. This is 699. And in the same way, you can find for everything. So this is how people uses the gauge. If I take sum of sales amount here instead of sales amount, then it will show the same value for everything. If I take sum of sales amount. Now it is grouped by details. If you see the grouping, it is nothing. That is why it will group by everything, the combination, whatever we have taken here. So that is the advantage. This is one case where we can use gauges more efficiently. And now, if you see the next one is maps. Maps is a newly added concept. It is purely for adding maps. And for this, you need coordinates, the data that is having coordinates like X coordinate and Y coordinate, which, I mean, I've never tried that. And let me try this and get back to you guys. I mean, I don't have any clue. You can see this is the map area. And the first thing you have to add is viewpoints. For adding the viewpoints, you have to select the X and Y. And center and zoom optimization. I don't know where I have to provide the values. Here I have to provide new layer wizard, and from database you have to get that information, or I'm taking USA state information. Next, finish. You can see it will show USA map. In the same way, if you are able to provide the coordinates from the database, then you can do the job of showing the map in your report. If you see, yeah, there is some problem in the mapping. I'm not sure about this mapping part. Surely I'll get back to you before the session's end. The next one is data bar is very similar to the bar chart or column chart. The only difference is you will not find what I can say, you will not find the x-axis and y-axis and so on. It is just the bar type. If you see, I have taken the sales amount and I have taken the category color just like I have done for column chart. So these kind of things, these kind of small charts, okay, you can use these kind of small charts. One second. I should not add this in the list control. Let me take this list control out first, and then I will add this part. So this is the list control selection. Let me decrease the size to here. Here I will add that bar, data bar. Now if you see, once all the list data is shown in the report, at the end you can find the bar chart, whatever I have given, data bar. At the end of the report I have given it after the list. So let it go to the last page. It has 12,000 some pages. You can see these can be used in a column of a report. If you don't want to show the complete report, but if you want to see how it is progressing or how it is performing, then you can use it more. Generally in Google AdSense and Google Analytics, people use these kind of reports. And now let me delete this for some time, as we have done good enough job on, discussion on gauges. Now let me take the data bar column chart. It is similar to that. Just similar to the column chart, but the only difference is you won't get the stuff like the columns and all. Just it will show you the values, sorry, the bars as it is showing in the data bar chart I have taken earlier. So this is how. So where there is no space to show the complete report, but the user sometimes try Google Analytics. Generally, people have this kind of charts used in Google Analytics. So in those kind of charts, people use this data bar. And Sparkle line is very similar to the line. When I drag and drop it, you can see the Sparkle line chart. It is very similar to that. You can see in the Sparkle line, this is the Sparkle line part, the lines, where you can see the horizontal and the vertical one. And based in that, you can have column, line, area, shapes, and ranges. So let me take this, and I have to set these values. Let me set this to sales amount. You can see the Sparkle line chart for the column chart type here. Let it open. So like this, I'm getting a lot of values, right? So it is showing for all the values. So very close. I mean, all these charts are newly added. Map, okay, data bar and Sparkle line and indicator also. Indicator was not there in the earlier version, and so many requests was raised to the Microsoft asking for indicators. There was no indicator to show. Generally, people uses this indicator in SSA's KPIs. So similar kind of indicators people ask for, so they added this, and these are added just based on the requirements of different clients. Now, these are not of high priority. Why? Because these are recently added and people not yet started looking into this. Now, let's see about the indicator. This is somewhat different and most useful one, I can say, compared to the remaining three: map, data bar, and Sparkle line. I have a report here. Let me see this first template report, what it is going to show. Not this one. Let me take this color report. This looks good. I have to give class. If I provide a class, it will give you the color-based sales amount and tax amount. Here, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add one more column into the group indicator. Okay, I've added a column called indicator and dragging this indicator into this. When I drag this indicator, then it will ask what type of indicator you want to show, either symbols or directional or shapes or ratings. Okay, whatever you take, you have to configure it. For example, if I take this directional one, when I right click on this, you can see indicator properties. Apart from that, the remaining properties are same stuff. If I take this indicator properties, it is showing you the values and states. From where to where, what is the combination? Okay, from 0 to 33, show it in red, and going down, that is, it is not performing well. What value I have to take? I have to check the sales amount. Okay, if the sales amount is between 0 to 33, that means it is not performing well. The sales amount is 33 to 66, it is yellow, that is moderate. Okay, fine. And if it is 66,000, then good, it is performing well. So like that, I have to provide some values to show the data. Now, if I execute this I'm expecting that node, see, here you can see the values are coming like this: up indicator, down, down, and down. So this is how you can set the you can make use of the indicators, which is pictorial. I mean, this is easy to identify whether it is performing well or not. This is very close to KPIs, the KPIs that you learned in SSA's part. So this is how you can set the indicators and for measure, and you can easily change the indicators, like by using the option change indicator type. You can select the indicators to red, but yellow, green, and red colors, or I can say lights here. So if I give the class M, you can see the values are showing, the indicator is showing in the different type, that is shapes. And I can go for stars rating. If it is too good, it will be full star, or if it is too worst, it will be empty star, and so on. So like this, they have added all these things by considering the request raised by different groups or different people from who are using SSRS, and it's your job now. Try to explore it. I mean, you have so much of time, and based on that, you have to explore each and every property. As I told you in last session, take one property, set one property, and see the preview, and set the another property, see the preview. And try to find or figure out what a particular property is meant for. I try to cover almost all the properties possible. And if I mean, I cannot go through each and everything. Why? Because it will be a 1-year course if I cover each and every property. I think I did a good job in covering maximum number of properties of these charts and the gauges. And map, data bar, spark line, and indicator, no need to concentrate much as these are newly added to SQL Server 2008 R2. People not yet started using these chart types or report item types. So guys, that is for today's session. Try to practice different properties. Try to set and see the difference that you are gonna get in your report when the property value is changed, and do as much practice as you can before coming to the next session, as we have only one session left on SSRS, that is on deployment part, deployment and report server, which will be covered in next session. Thank you guys.